What's up, guys? It's Kat here. I know it has been a very, very long time since I have last posted, but my life has been extremely crazy the past several years. And I decided it was finally time to try to get back and post videos and do what I can to relieve my stress, because telling people my life has been helping, so hopefully it can continue to help and also entertain people with all the crazy crap that's been going on. As you can see, there is a new background. I have moved probably 3 times since the last time I posted. Yeah, about 3 times. Let me just start from the beginning. Okay, so last time I posted, I was pretty sure that I was in the hospital about to give birth to my daughter. She is almost 3 now. She turns 3 next month, and oh my gosh, she is a spitfire little girl. She is absolutely insane at most points, but I love her to death. She is amazing. After I had my daughter, I'm gonna be kind of organizing my vanity while I'm talking to you guys, so that's what I'm doing. But after I had my daughter, things with my husband got bad. Physical abuse had started, and I don't want to say started because it started before then, but I didn't want to truly accept what was happening, and I ignored it and just hoped for the best. I thought that having our daughter here with us would hopefully bring us closer together, but it did the opposite. Not only was he physically and mentally abusing me, he started physically abusing our newborn. After I seen all of that, and it took me a while to come to the acceptance of what I was seeing, as well as what people were telling me, what they were seeing when I wasn't around. Because we had actually ended up moving in with my mother, because we did not have enough money saved up to get a place of our own. And I don't want to say it's my fault, because it's not all my fault, because I had saved up a lot of money to purchase our first vehicle, and I honestly think I paid for all of it, because I think I was like $250 off from buying it, and then my grandmother gave me that money and I paid her back because it was a loan, so I paid her back. So technically I did pay for our vehicle. Stupidly enough, I let him put it in his name, so I lost my vehicle after we separated. But we did separate for a short time. We had thought it best to separate and kind of see how things went. And I was so deeply depressed and anxious, and I did love him. I was in love with him with my whole heart. So during that separation, I was scared of being alone and taking care of our daughter by myself. So I had actually we talked about it, and we ended up getting, moving back in together. well, at least being together again as a couple. Because we didn't move back in together yet. Now, in that time that we were separated, I had actually moved to Tennessee to live with some of my family, with my daughter, but that did not last very long. It lasted for literally 11 days, because my family, bless them, I really hope that, you know, the Lord makes them see the error of their ways, because my family is not the greatest or the kindest, because they have lied about me and about my daughter and a bunch of other things. So I just hope that, you know, at some point they will see the error of their ways and reach back out to me and hopefully set things right. So I moved back to Arkansas. As you guys know, I live in Arkansas, hence my country bumpkin accent. After I moved back, I had, you know, reconnected with him. We started trying to figure things out. We were arguing almost constantly because of how he was treating our daughter, because he wouldn't like punch her or like slap her around, but he would throw her, and she wasn't even 3 months old, so he would literally throw her. And don't get me wrong, he threw her onto our bed, but you can't do that, because it could really cause a lot of harm to a child that small. So I didn't like the way he was treating her or how he was treating me. He would scream at her and tell her to shut the up. And crying is the only way a newborn can communicate. So we would argue about that, because it's like, that's the only way she can speak to you. Stop yelling at her for it. But even with me reminding him that constantly, it did nothing. So I was getting scared for her safety and mine. And he kept telling me that our perfect little baby was going to cause us to get a divorce, because she was coming between us. And ever since we had her, we were arguing constantly and blah blah blah, but BS. But I started believing it. He wanted to put her up for adoption, which I did not want to do. I was fighting him tooth or nail, but to appease him and at the same time keep my daughter close, I had given up temporary custody of her to my aunt. My aunt took very good care of her up until I ended up, you know, me and my husband had left my mom's and moved into an RV on my grandmother's property. Everything got worse from there, because I was upset because I couldn't get to see my daughter every day because I was working. And he had been through 2 jobs at this point. I had just started a new job. I was working as an aide for the elderly, but I actually ended up working for my grandmother and my uncle, which is her son, because they're both disabled. And yeah, so it was just easier for me to get up in the morning, walk the, you know, little bit up the road to my grandma's and help her out for however many hours I was scheduled that day, and then just hang out there for the rest of the day until it was time to walk back to the RV and go to bed. I started, you know, the abuse started getting worse and worse during this time. It was getting close to my 21st birthday. Actually, it was my 21st birthday, and I had woke up that morning so excited because I could legally drink. I can get, if you know what I'm saying, I could legally drink. So it's just different, especially, you know, for that first, like, legal birthday. It's different. So I was super excited, you know, getting myself pumped up. And I told him, I was like, look, if we're gonna do anything, you know what I'm saying, then it needs to happen now, because I'm gonna be out of my mind later, because I'm gonna get drunk. And I don't want to do anything later, because I'm not gonna be able to fully enjoy it. So I don't want to do anything if you guys want to. So he said, no, it's all good. Let's just enjoy the day. And I was like, cool, thanks. Well, we went to my mom's to celebrate my birthday, because, you know, it was a big 21. And after we left my mom's, we went out, and we drank at my mom's. Well, I drank, because he wasn't 21 yet, but I drank, while we were at my mom's. And we played pool, and, because my mom has a pool table, and had fun. It was, you know, a decent time. And after that, you know, we had left and went to Chili's. And as people know on here, or at least they should know, Chili's serves alcohol if you're of age. So I drank some more there. And during this whole time, I am officially not incapacitated, but I was getting there, so they cut me off. Because I was, as we call white girl wasted. And it was fun. I had fun. I have not ever been, I can't say that, but, you know, I haven't ever legally been that wasted, if you know what I mean, until that point. So, you know, I was having fun, good time, fun time. Well, we went home, and I was like, well, I'm gonna go to bed, because I am tired, I've had a good day, I just want to end it on a good note by sleeping it off. And so that's what I did. I went to bed. Well, I woke up in the middle of the night with him on top of me. You get my drift. I tried to fight him off. Didn't work, because I was fucked up. Pardon my language. And, well, a month later to the day, I found out I was pregnant with our son. I have a almost 2-year-old little boy. He turns 2 in October of this year. And yeah, so it was fun. But shortly after that, I say shortly, a couple months after that, we had gone into a pretty good argument, where I left for a couple days. to go hang out with one of my high school friends who happens to be a guy. No, we did not do anything because I do not cheat. But, we did used to date in high school. Nothing ever came of it then, and now, or then, at the time, but he has always been one of my very good friends, and he, how do I say it? He cuts past the bull, you know? He was like, look, I know you didn't just reach out to me to, you know, for you to hang out over nothing. You know, you got a kid, you got a job, you got a husband, what's going on? And well, I wasn't gonna lie, so I told him, I was like, we got into it again pretty bad, and I can't deal with it anymore, because before this I had even had to call the authorities because he had left bruises on me. So I told him, I was like, I can't deal with it anymore. I needed to get out for a couple days. And he's like, okay, no, that's fine. But, you know, if, you know, I'm gonna tell you this now, like, you know, it was back then. I love you. I'm always gonna love you. You're my best friend. No matter what happens, we're always gonna be friends, blah, blah, blah. And honestly, I would be willing to give it another try. Dating, if, you know, you ever wanted to give it a shot, if you ever wanted to leave him. So he was, you know, giving me an out, but I loved my husband, and I told him thanks, but I just can't think about that right now. I don't think I'll ever be able to think about that, because I really hope things work out. Fast forward, the day I got back, and well, the day I left, actually, he wanted to go through my phone because he thought I was cheating on him with this friend, and I was not, which it was proven that I wasn't. But after he had forcefully taken my phone out of my hands by actually digging his fingernail into me, which I still have a scar on my hand from that. Even after he did that, he took my phone. I tried to get it back, and he elbowed me in my face, which had blown a blood vessel in my eye, which I have pictures of that saved somewhere, because, you know, I had to for legal reasons. But he stepped outside and looked through my phone and then smashed my phone because he didn't want me to have the opportunity to cheat on him, even though he clearly seen I wasn't cheating. He was insecure, which I understand you being insecure, but there are ways to go about talking to your partner about being insecure. I'm just saying. So, while he was being a douche face, I was like, you know what? I left, and it's when I went and hung out with my friend. Nothing happened. I came home, and my mom was actually out there because she was helping my grandma out on the property, getting stuff done, doing stuff, doing daughterly things. And during that period of time, he had asked if I had wanted to walk down to our RV to try to talk and smooth things out. So of course, yes, I would love to talk, because that's what I just want to do. I just wanted us to talk and communicate. So we went down there, and of course he had an alternate purpose. I think that's the word I'm looking for. There's an ulterior motive. There it is. To why he wanted me to go down there. He started a bunch of crap, and if you guys know me at all, I don't deal. That is right in the way. I don't like that. There you go. I don't deal with being yelled at or talked down to. So I cut it out pretty fast. I was like, nope, you're just gonna do that. I'm gonna leave. Don't get me wrong. He didn't start yelling first. I did, but that's because he knows exactly how to push my buttons, and he did. So yeah. I told him we, had this argument, and I told him, if you don't get out of my face, I'm going to leave. So you need to get out of my face and we can talk calmly about it, or I can leave. It's basically the situation here. Well, he didn't. So I kind of pushed past him, was like, get out of my way. And I walked out the door. He followed me. And I was already, as you guys know, I have anxiety, I have depression. And my heart was just pounding and pounding. I couldn't breathe. I was having a panic attack. And I was hyperventilating. And it was just getting really, really bad. So I knew my mom was outside, just up the driveway a little bit, working. And so I started yelling for her, Mom, oh mother. No, it was more like me screaming bloody murder. I was yelling so bad, because I was scared that I was going to pass out and that he was going to hurt me. So my mother came to my rescue. Let's just say my mom got put in jail because the cops wanted to believe him over 3 different witness accounts. Four, my mom's, my brother, and my uncle. So 4 different witness accounts saying the exact same thing. And 1 different person. And they arrested my mom. But after all that happened, that was the day I finally had the gumption to leave him, and I did. I was like, bye you POS, I'm leaving and never coming back. And I did. Never looked back at all. It's really hard for me because I loved him, but it was better for our children to leave and not look back. So I did just that, and about 6 months later, because I was about 3 months pregnant when that happened, about 6 months later, I had our son, our beautiful little boy, who looks nothing like me, looks nothing like his dad. He actually looks like someone on, like a very distant relative on my side of the family that died before I ever got the chance to meet. So I think it's pretty cool that he got most of my family's genes. Because bless him, I'm happy he didn't get his dad's. But he, I had filed for divorce during all that waiting period, waiting for our son to make his appearance. and a order of protection for me and my daughter. And divorce was finalized November of 2021. So it's been 2 years. Well, almost 2 years. Has it been 2 years? It's almost been 2 years, because November of this year will make it 2 years. So yeah, almost 2 years. But, like these are all the same. But, yeah, it was a heck of a ride. So, fast forward to, like, I say the middle of my pregnancy, I had reconnected. Well, he reached out, but we reconnected. I reconnected with, I don't want to say my high school sweetheart, because we didn't date in high school, but, you know, other things happened in high school. And we were also best friends. Well, I say we were best friends, but he says we were just friends. Well, we were just buddies, but friends. We were in ROTC together, we had classes together, but he had gone into a relationship, and she didn't like me because she knew of our extracurricular activities together. So since when they got together, he was forced to block me, and we hadn't spoke that whole time. From when they started dating in high school till we reconnected. So after we reconnected, it was kind of weird at first, because it's like, holy crap, what do you want? But, you know, we started up where we left off in high school, if you catch my drift. And it really was like, things just never changed. Things just, it was so weird how quickly it was for us to reconnect and be comfortable with each other still after so long. So we started back off, and he ended up telling me, you know, if you would have told me in high school that, you know, you liked me, well, I would have dated you. We could have avoided all this. And I'm like, yeah, well, I wish you would have just told me that, because I would have been honest, being like, hey, like, I like you. But you didn't, so it's not on me. It's not just on me. So, yeah. Fun little tidbit. But, after I had learned that, I, you know, told him that, you know, hey, like, I do like you, and, you know, maybe one day, you know, if you're not scared of, you know, children taking on a certain role, since we would be together, if you're not scared of that, then yeah, because me and my kids are a package deal. You can't just choose me and leave out the kids. You can't just choose the kids and leave out me. Like, we're together. It's a package deal. Well, he did just that. He took us on, and we have been together for over a year, well over a year. We've been together for almost 2 years. And during that time period, I had gotten pregnant. Even though I was on birth control. Don't trust okay, side note right now. Do not trust birth control. If you are on birth control, please use other things for whatever the word is. I can't remember if it's conception or contraception because they're both so similar sounding, and one means making babies and the other means anti-babies. Whichever one. Use condoms or like those little things for female that has spermicide in it. Like, use Plan B if you don't want kids, because I'm telling you, birth control don't work. I got pregnant this time on the shot, on the depot shot. I think 10 weeks, probably about 12 weeks into it, we had found out we were having a little boy. Yay, another little boy. No, I was very excited about it. So as recently as May of this year, 2 months ago, we welcomed our little perfect bundle of joy into the world. He is so sweet and he's so smart, and I know that every parent says that, but I have 3 kids and I'm telling you now, like, each of the kids are smart in their own way. Emma is smart in her own way. Jacob is smart in his own way. The little baby boy, he is developing a lot faster than Emma or Jacob did. And that's not a bad thing. I don't know if it's necessarily a good thing, but it's definitely not a bad thing, and it's not bad, you know, for Emma or Jacob, because they're amazing kids. But getting back into my relationship, we have been together for almost 2 years. It's been up and down, because I did not take the news that I was pregnant very well. I was very upset because I did not want another kid right now. I didn't. I was terrified out of my mind because after I had Jacob, I was told that it was very likely that I wasn't going to be able to get pregnant again, and if I did, there was no guarantee that the baby was going to make it, and that there is no guarantee that it wasn't going to have problems. There was no guarantee that I was going to make it. So I was very, very scared throughout my whole pregnancy, and I did have problems throughout my whole pregnancy. I had ended up having to quit my job until I got a little bit further into my pregnancy, and then I started a new job, and then I ended up having to quit that job. So it was just very up and down. Though throughout my pregnancy, me and my boyfriend did not get into a lot of arguments. There were some here and there because I had my own place for, you know, over a year. I was the only one paying on it. I was paying all my bills. I was taking care of 2 kids. I was a single mom for so long, and it was very hard for me to let him take on the role of provider and stepfather and partner. It took a lot for me to do that and be able to trust him and not ask to go through his phone for cheating or not flinch every time he moved too fast. It took a lot for me to try to overcome most of that. And for the most part, I have. Now, I still do look through his phone quite often, but it is not because I think he's cheating. Here's the juicy little nitty gritty crap. When we first got together, his mother came to me and told me, you know, basically that she didn't think we were going to last very long just because she didn't like me. And he's a mama's boy, so he's going to choose me every single time. Well, guess what? He chose me. So we continued to date, and she finally, I guess after a couple months, got it through her head that we were going to be together for a while, especially after she heard the news that I was pregnant. She wanted me to get a DNA test and this, that, and the other, and I was like, okay, first of all, if my boyfriend wants a DNA test, I will for sure accept the fact that he wants it. Just, as I understand he went through a lot with his past relationship before me and him got together. I understood that. That was fine. He wasn't asking for it. She was. Well, so, I was like, you know what? I don't care. Let's do it. Just that way I can prove her wrong. Fast forward a little bit after she had asked for that. Because I wasn't going to get a DNA test until after the baby got here, because if you get a DNA test while the baby is still in utero, they have to stick like a very long needle through your belly button and into the, like the sac that's in there. I can't remember what it's called now. Oh my gosh. The baby sac, whatever it is. They have to stick it through your belly button into that and get DNA in a syringe from the needle and then take it out. And that can not only cause issues for you as a pregnant woman, but also to the baby itself. So I was like, well, if we are going to get a DNA test, we are going to wait till after the baby is born. That was fine. But before, well before we could even get a DNA test, she started buying so much stuff for the baby. But first of all, that was kind of like, at first it was like, well, maybe she's just accepted the fact that it is her grandchild, because I didn't cheat, I would never. And that, she just accepted that. And then as she's buying all this and getting stuff donated and this, that, and the other, it's like, it was like, after I started knowing her a bit more through all of this time, it was like, well, she's going to hold it over my head. She's going to hold it over her son's head. She's probably going to hold it over our child's head. Well, I was like, let's give it a little bit. When we first found out I was pregnant, my boyfriend had told her, because she was living with him, and he told her, look, you have 9 months to figure your crap out, pack all your stuff up, and get out, because Kat's pregnant, and my son isn't going to be away from me at all. So that's that. Fast forward a little bit, a couple more months, about two and a half months before our baby got here. We had asked her to watch Emma and Jacob so we can go and celebrate my boyfriend's best friend's birthday. And we didn't go out and party. No, we went over to their house. We played pool. We ate. We had like burgers and hot dogs and like shit. Like, it was like a barbecue type deal without barbecue. Like, it was like a grill out basically. But we had that time, and we were gone from, it was supposed to be like 4 p.m. to like 10 p.m. at the latest, but it just kept getting later and later and closer to 10. And I was like, hey, we need to get going. He was like, well, I'll text her and ask her if she's okay with keeping, like, watching them a little bit longer, because they should be asleep by now anyway. And I was like, okay, whatever. I just, me as a mom, I started getting a little anxious, because I don't like having people just watch my kids unless I can fully trust them around my kids. And I'm sure a lot of other moms feel the same. Hey, baby. There's a dog here, sorry. But, I was like, okay, well, 12 o'clock rolls around, like midnight, and I'm like, okay, we really need to get going. I need to be home with the kids. So we left, came back here, and he's like, well, they're asleep, we're just gonna go to bed, and everything else. And I was like, okay, cool. Went to bed, woke up. His mom was gone, in the morning, and I had, woken up because the kids were starting to get up and start crying because, how kids are. They cry when they first wake up because, and it's just a thing. But I walk in there and I'm like, hey, what's going on? You okay? You want a snack? You want your sippy? Like, what's going on? And Emma had raised up, and I had noticed that she had a handprint on her face. And I was like, what? And like, it was like, okay, that's weird. And like, I took a closer look at it, because at first I was like, well, maybe it's just like an imprint from her laying down all night on it. But then I was like, there's no way just her laying down is gonna leave a bruise. So I was like, and then as I was changing her, because she was still in like pull-ups. She still is in pull-ups. We're having a hard time potty training. But I was changing her pull-up, and I noticed that she had bruises on her butt as well as her back. So I was like, okay, this isn't right. So I told my boyfriend, I was like, hey, I'm gonna pack the kids and go and visit my mom. He was like, okay, and I didn't tell him what I had seen or anything. I hear a baby. But I'm gonna take you guys with me so I can go check on him, make sure what's going on. But I told him that. And hi, sweet boy. Yeah. You're okay. Here you go. He just needed a passy. But I went to my mom's, and I told Emma, I said, hey, go to Nana, which is what my mom goes by. And Emma went over there, and my mom instantly noticed. She was like, what happened? And then she looked at me, she goes, what did you do? And I'm just like, me? No. I was like, first of all, I put my hand like up next to Emma's face. I was like, that's too big to be me. I have child hands, okay? I'm a very tiny person. I was like, that's not me. She goes, what, tell me what happened. I told her, I was like, well, as I told you, we were going to my boyfriend's friend's birthday. We left the kids with his mom. We didn't get back till after the kids were asleep. We woke up. This is how it is. Like, this is okay. And she goes, yeah, that's a handprint. Like, someone would have to have hit her and hit her hard for her to bruise that deep. And I didn't even have the, mindset to ask Emma who had hit her, because, she's 2. And 2-year-olds, they like to, I want to say they like to, because they don't really understand what lying is. But they do, for instance, Emma, we have a dog, and if the dog gets too close to Emma, she'll say that the dog bit her, even though the dog didn't bite her. So I didn't even ask Emma who had hit her, but it's very weird or coincidental that when my mom had asked her, Emma, who hit you? And she said, oh, blank slapped me. She didn't say hit. She didn't repeat after my mom. She said, blank slapped me. So, and she said my boyfriend's mom's name. And I was like, oh, really now? Well, DHS ended up getting involved because I took my daughter to the doctor and said, look, please look at this, make sure that she's okay. She doesn't have anything broken. There's nothing going to be wrong with her in the long run. And everything. The doctor looked and she goes, okay, these are handprints. You need to tell me how this happened. And I told her, I was like, look, we left the kids in this person's care. We were gone for, this many hours. We didn't get back till this time. And I didn't even see it till first thing this morning. And then I basically pretty much brought her up here. And so the doctor made the report against my boyfriend's mom. And crap got worse after that. She started threatening me and saying I was a liar and this, that, and the other, and saying my kid's a liar. My kid is 2. My kid doesn't have the gumption to lie. I'm sorry, she doesn't. But, things happen. Me and my boyfriend have argued a lot during that time. His mother even went so far to say as she would take our son away, even though that in the state of Arkansas, she is seen to be unfit as a parent, because this is not the first time that she has done this to a child. Okay? Remember this, not the first time. But my boyfriend found it hard to believe that she would ever do that, because my boyfriend, I have learned from other members of their family that she used to abuse him and his siblings. And that's why she actually got some of her kids taken away at one point. So I was like, okay, well, you know what? Whatever. I don't care if you believe me or not. I believe my child. And this is what she says. So we argued a lot about it, back and forth, bickering on whether or not that she would be able to be around the new baby, blah, blah, blah. Well, I still stand to this day. She is not allowed around my child, well, our child together, or Emma or Jacob. She's not allowed around them. Over my dead body, like literally over my dead body, she would have to kill me to see any of the kids. Seriously, like, I'm like 100% I am standing my freaking ground when it comes to that, because you're not gonna lay hands on one of my children and then expect to be able to see the one that you're blood related to, just because you're blood related to that child and not the other ones. And it's funny because she is the only one out of my boyfriend's family that just doesn't like me. Like, me and his dad get along fine, me and his siblings get along, his aunt, like, his grandma, everyone that I've met in his family really likes me, besides his mom. And, like, I don't know how to explain it. Like, you see those, I don't want to say documentaries, but like those videos or like articles and stuff where it's like the mom like has fantasies about her child. I swear that's what his mom's like, because she has literally broken up all of him and his ex-girlfriends. She is like, she's not wanting to let go of him. He is 23 years old. Okay, he's the same age as I am. He is 23, and she acts like he's 3. Like, there's a 20 years difference, lady. Let him be a grown-up. But after all of this, all of the crap, she even went so far as to text him pictures of another female and say, hey, this is so-and-so's granddaughter. She turns 23 in this many months. I showed her a picture of you. She thinks you're cute. She thinks your son is cute. She has like 3 jobs, and at least she actually works. Whew. So, me being me, I told my boyfriend, I said, next time your mom tries to find our son a stepmom, tell her to at least make sure she's pretty, doesn't look like she goes out and parties every freaking weekend, and make sure she doesn't look like she's a skank. I said, at least make sure that those 3 jobs aren't selling herself out and doing this, that, and the other, and blah, blah, blah. I was like, because our son needs a role model at least, and I know, like, I'm not working right now. That's because I just had a newborn. I had a C-section, which I'm still healing from, and I also had my tubes tied. And that's a major surgery. Yeah, a C-section is a major surgery. It's one of the most major surgeries that can be done to a human body. But, you know, I don't have a job, so I'm not worthy. And I have other kids prior to this relationship, so I'm not worthy. And just a whole bunch of other crap. So, that's what's been going on in my life. It's been real. It's been super fun. But it's been stressful and scary and overwhelming. And as much as I honestly, I despise this woman, she makes me laugh. Honestly, I get enjoyment from reading through, our past messages from her, trying to be nice and then just completely flipping around and being a psycho, and, her texting him and threatening me and threatening my kids and everything else. I find it funny because at least I know that, first of all, there is someone out there who is worse off than me to feel the need to mentally and try to physically bring down another person. So it's just, I've honestly, I've been praying for her, I really have, and I'm upset about it because I don't want to have to think about her. I don't want to have to do anything or feel the need to do anything, but I feel the need to pray for this woman, because if she is this far gone, mentally, and just this freaking crazy, then she needs some help, and I don't think she can get it from anyone on earth. I think she needs help from Jesus, and I hope he helps her, because even with my ex-husband's family, I actually, as recently as the past 11 months, well, the past year, I had reached out to my ex-husband's family and was like, hey, I'm sorry that I cut off communications with you. I'm sorry that I did this. I wasn't necessarily meaning to, but at the same time I didn't want anything to do with him. I didn't want to hear from him, see him, or anything. But that doesn't mean that I wanted to cut you guys out. I know you guys have had my back. I know that, you guys love the babies and this, that, and the other. And they've actually drove down from, because they live, I want to say 3.5 hours away, but they still live in Arkansas. But, my town's here, and their town is, way over here. So, they've literally drove down, and I've drove up there with the kids so that I can visit them and see them and everything else, and it's, oh no, it's been crazy, but at the same time I'm so happy to know that if I need anything for the kids, or if we're not making enough one month, and one of the kids need diapers, I know for a fact if someone from my family can't, then I know all I have to do is just instantly call them like, hey, can you help out with this? And they would do it because they would be happy to do it because they love their grandbabies and they love me. And I love it. And I'm so angry that it took this long for that to happen, because don't get me wrong, when me and my ex-husband were together, there were disagreements between us, like me and his family. But after we separated, that whole mood changed. Like, they were happy about me, like they loved me, they liked me, it was just a whole different change. And it wasn't because that we separated, it's because it took us separating to, I guess, kind of reflect on themselves, because they seen how he was treating me. And I guess, seeing that kind of reflected on themselves, I guess, I don't know, we haven't really talked about, like, why they've changed so much, but they have, like, there was just a whole plethora of things that they were going through, I guess. I really don't want to get into it, because that's, their personal issues, but there was a lot of stuff going on, and I guess seeing how their son was treating the person he was supposed to love made them self-reflect on, okay, well, he came from us, so we need to see what's going on with us and why it would make him like that. And now, like, they've changed so much, and I am truly, truly, truly happy for them. I am grateful that I feel safe enough to let them back into my life and feel safe enough to have the kids be around them. And it's changed so much for me, because, like, I am so much mentally healthier from that standpoint, I guess. Like, it's one less thing for me to have to worry about. It's one less thing that I'm stressing about. So, I guess that's good. But, other than that, I think that is all I'm going to say for today. Well, at least in this video. And if you guys want me to kind of go into some more detail about my boyfriend's mom, and, like, the more to detail about, like, everything, like text messages and everything else, like, I will literally read word for word everything that was said between me and her texting him. Like, I will read it, but I want to make sure that this is somewhat at least interesting to you guys. So if you guys could just leave a thumbs up, subscribe, and comment down below, that would mean so much to me. And let me know if you guys find this interesting and would like more videos like this. Me talking about my crazy psychotic life. Because it is crazy and it's psychotic. Because now I am 23 and have 3 kids. Lord help me. But yeah, if you found any of this interesting, just, leave a like, comment, subscribe, so that way you guys can, keep up with my posting. And turn on your notifications so that way when I post, you guys can know instantly. Because that's fantastic, right? Yeah. Okay. But I will let you guys go. Have a fantastic day. And I hope to see you guys next time. Bye.